It's 10:22 a.m. on the 4th of June, 1942. Commander Mitsuo Fuchida looks up from the bridge of the carrier Akagi and sees death falling from the sky. American dive bombers, dozens of them, peeling out of the clouds with nothing to stop them. The lookout's scream is not a report, it's pure terror. The Akagi is a floating bomb. Deep in her belly, the hangar decks are packed with fueled aircraft and unsecured torpedoes. The rearming crews have been working frantically all morning, switching ordnance back and forth in a deadly gamble. Fuchida watches a single bomb detach from Lieutenant Dick Best's dauntless bomber. The bomb falls. Time slows. This is not how it was supposed to end. 6 months ago, Fuchida led the air attack on Pearl Harbor. He became a national hero. The Kido Butai, the most powerful naval strike force in history, has never lost. 4 carriers, unbroken victories from Hawaii to the Indian Ocean. But today, acute appendicitis has chained Fuchida to the bridge as a helpless observer. He cannot fly. He can only watch. And what he sees is the end of everything. Fuchida's fleet is here for one reason: to destroy Midway Island and crush the American carriers when they scramble to defend it. It is a trap, or so the Japanese believe. The Japanese believe their naval codes are secure, unbreakable behind layers of mathematics and procedure. They are wrong. In the basement of Pearl Harbor, Commander Joseph Rochefort's team at Station HYPO has been cracking JN-25, the Imperial Navy's operational code. For weeks, intercepted messages point to a major offensive against a target designated AF. Rochefort believes AF is Midway. Washington disagrees. So, HYPO sets a trap. They instruct Midway to send an unencrypted message reporting a failure in the island's water distillation plant. Days later, Japanese coded traffic confirms AF is short on water. The debate ends. Admiral Chester Nimitz now knows the target, the timing, and the size of the Japanese strike force. He positions his carriers into position northeast of the island and waits. The trap is set, and Fuchida's fleet is caught completely unprepared. The trouble began hours earlier, at 7:15. Lieutenant Tomonaga's voice crackles over the radio from Midway Island. The land defenses are still intact. Vice Admiral Nagumo paces the bridge. His reserve aircraft are armed with torpedoes weapons meant for American ships. To strike the island again, they need bombs. Deep below the flight deck, in the cramped hangar spaces, mechanics begin the grueling work. They haul heavy torpedoes from the wing racks, muscles straining in the heat. They replace them with high explosive bombs. The enclosed hangars echo with shouts and the clang of metal on metal.
敵船10隻と思われるもの目撃。
The scout plane's report is vague. 10 ships, maybe carriers, maybe not. But Nagumo cannot take the risk. If American carriers are out there, he needs his anti-ship torpedoes ready. What he doesn't know is that those carriers are already launching their strike aircraft. The Americans are coming. The mechanics reverse course, scrambling to reload torpedoes. There is no time to return munitions to the magazines. Bombs and torpedoes pile up in the hangar decks, unsecured. Fueled aircraft crowd the spaces between them. The Akagi has become a floating powder keg. At 9:20, the American torpedo bombers arrive. They come in low and slow Douglas Devastators, flying without cover. The Japanese Combat Air Patrol, veteran Zero fighters, intercepts them immediately. Fuchida watches from the bridge as the Zeros peel down to sea level. Tracers streak across the water. American planes are hit and fall into the ocean. Not a single torpedo finds its mark.
彼らは連携していない断片的な攻撃、またしても楽勝だ。
To the men on the bridge, it looks like another easy victory. But Fuchida notices something. The Zeros are all down at wave-top altitude now, chasing the torpedo planes. The sky above the fleet is empty. By 10:20, the attacks cease. An eerie silence settles over the fleet. Deep below, the rearming continues. The strike aircraft are still in the hangars. It will be at least another 45 minutes before they can be spotted on deck and launched. But on the bridge, the mood is confident. The Americans have been defeated. The counterstrike is coming. And now, at 10:22 a.m., the moment Fuchida has been dreading arrives. His eyes follow the bomb falling through the air. The bomb punches through the flight deck near the midship elevator. It detonates in the upper hangar. The explosion is blinding. The shockwave lifts Fuchida off his feet and hurls him against the bulkhead. Then the chain reaction begins. The bomb has landed among the rearming station's fueled aircraft, stacked torpedoes, high explosive bombs piled on the deck. Fires erupt instantly. Fuel ignites. Ordnance begins to detonate in a cascading series of blasts. The massive hull shudders with each explosion. Fuchida struggles to his knees. His ankles scream in pain something is broken. Smoke pours from the shattered elevator shaft. He stumbles toward the railing. Admiral Nagumo stands frozen, staring at nothing. His face is ashen.
Teitoko!
But Nagumo cannot speak. He cannot comprehend what has just happened. Fuchida looks out across the water. To starboard, a pillar of black smoke rises from the Kaga. To port, another from the Soryu. 3 carriers, mortally wounded, in 6 minutes. Not by overwhelming force, but by a handful of bombs landing at the worst possible moment. Fuchida tries to move toward the damage control parties, but the heat drives him back. His surgical wound tears. He ignores it. Crew members stagger through the smoke, faces blackened, hands blistered.
Akagi wa mou sukuenai shikikan.
The words are impossible. The Akagi is not just a ship. She is the sovereign soil of the Emperor. To abandon her is disgrace. But the flames are climbing higher. The ammunition is still cooking off. The deck is glowing red. Fuchida nods. They order evacuation. The fires have cut off the normal exits. Fuchida and the other bridge officers prepare to slide down a rope from the bridge to the main deck below. Fuchida grabs the line. His hands are weak. Halfway down, another explosion rocks the ship. The blast wave throws him sideways. He loses his grip and slams into the deck below. The fall is shattering. Both ankles snap. Sailors drag him to the edge of the ship. They lower him again, this time to the light cruiser Nagara pulling alongside. He collapses onto the smaller ship's deck, unable to stand. As the Nagara pulls away, Fuchida forces himself to lean against the railing. He looks back. The Akagi is a burning cathedral. Flames pour from her flight deck. Smoke towers into the sky. Her hull lists slowly to port. Men are still jumping from her sides, tiny figures against the inferno. The flagship is dying. Around her, the Kaga and Soryu burn as well. Later that afternoon, the Hiryu will join them. The technological superiority of the Empire, the veteran pilots, the strategic initiative, all of it sinking beneath the waves. Fuchida feels something break inside him that has nothing to do with his shattered ankles or his surgical wound. The Invincible Armada is gone. Commander Mitsuo Fuchida survived the Battle of Midway, though his broken ankles required months of hospitalization. The Akagi burned for hours before being scuttled by Japanese destroyers to prevent her capture. The Kaga and Soryu suffered the same fate. The Hiryu was destroyed by American dive bombers that afternoon. Japan lost 4 fleet carriers, 3,057 men, and 248 aircraft. Among the dead were 110 irreplaceable veteran aircrew and hundreds of expert mechanics. The loss of skilled maintenance personnel proved devastating to carrier operations. The strategic balance of the Pacific shifted irreversibly. The Battle of Midway marked the end of Japanese offensive capability and the beginning of the long American advance. The man who made the victory possible never received recognition. Commander Joseph Rochefort, whose code-breaking team had cracked the Japanese plans, was immediately recommended for the Distinguished Service Medal by Admiral Nimitz. Washington denied it twice. Rochefort's success embarrassed intelligence officials in Washington who had been wrong about the Japanese target. Within months, he was reassigned to a floating dry dock in San Francisco. He died in 1976, his work unacknowledged. 43 years later, the Navy finally awarded him the medal, posthumously. Fuchida would later write extensively about the battle, though his accounts were colored by hindsight and national pride. He claimed the carriers were 5 minutes from launching when the bombs hit, a myth contradicted by Japanese operational logs showing at least 45 minutes remained. He positioned himself as the observer who saw the fatal gap in the air defenses, though historians doubt he understood the significance in the moment. For the man who led the attack on Pearl Harbor, Midway was a bitter irony, forced to witness his nation's greatest defeat as a helpless observer, watching the exact moment the rising sun began to set. Want to see more incredible stories of courage, combat, and unbelievable moments from World War II? Like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon so you never miss our next film.